everybody. Good evening. Good evening. Happy Friday. Today's Friday. I was about to say happy Monday for some crazy reason. Or whatever day you happen to be watching this. You actually might see this on a Monday. But happy Friday, everyone. Happy Thanksgiving week. It is my hope and my prayer that you are feeling very abundant, very blessed, that you had an amazing Thanksgiving holiday. Maybe you did just a little bit like I'm going to and still ball out some for Black Friday. But it is just our hope that you're feeling blessed and that your families are filled with overflow in a myriad of different ways. I am Christina Garrett. If you just got here, if you're new to our community, I am honored to serve the world as a productivity coach for superstar women leaders, working mothers, dynamic women who are serving well in the nonprofit sector, in the media sector, in ministry, and all the other places to help them organize their busy worlds. Okay. This evening, we're talking for just a few minutes to the mom entrepreneurs, to the dynamic women who are positioning themselves for greatness in order to best serve you all. I'm excited to hear about your goals. Today in our Facebook group, I put up the opportunity for all of our ladies to share what their Black Friday specials were. Christina, did not offer a Black Friday special. We just don't do a coaching sale, right? But for a myriad of ladies who have physical products and all the things, we just wanted to give them an opportunity to share what they were positioning to their audiences this week. Okay. In addition, hey everybody. In addition, we wanted to make sure that we were supporting within our community, right? We wanted to make sure that we were championing for each other and to give everyone the opportunity to glow up. And one of the things that I shared in the group is how honored I am to be a leader for leaders, right? That every single woman that comes into the Momathon conference, every woman that's in our community is this vast, gigantic, big deal. Every single one, like everybody is, running nonprofits and in the boardroom and starting businesses and doing all of these different things. And I feel like I get to be a part of their process, their journey, their overflow, I know, and I have heard, this is just me from what I've heard, is that a lot of the ladies who've been in other places and spaces, when they come into the Momathon community, they feel so seen and so welcome because in other places, they felt like, well, I'm a coach and this person is a coach. There's no space for me here. As opposed to, okay, so you're a homeschool coach or a nonprofit coach or even a self-care coach, right? You support women with their mental health or a wide range of things that we can both be great in the same room. And we all have strengths that help us to be better together. Okay. So as a part of our community, that is what we focus on. That's what we lean into is the beauty of creating your own definition of success. And the fact that there are billions of people on this planet mean that you can have your definition and I can have my definition and we both be serving well. Okay. Tonight, for just a little bit, we're going to be talking about, this is not necessarily Black Friday focused, right? Because I'm not selling anything tonight. But the idea of defining what success looks like for you. What does success look like for you? Okay. And for every one of us, it's going to be something different. But as you're moving toward this definition, you're going to go through some cycles. Okay. These can be positive cycles where you feel really great. These can be challenging cycles when you're going through different life and family transitions. But either way, no matter what, you're allowed to ride that roller coaster and do that work. Okay. So I'm going to show you guys a picture in a few minutes from one of my favorite books. It just so happens that me and the book are matching tonight. It's a coincidence, but maybe not. Okay. So as we are looking at the definition of success, I want to ask you, what is yours? Okay. As we're examining success, I want to ask you, what is yours? Have you defined that? Have you put together on your vision board, on your list, even in your journal, I actually have my journal close to me today. In your journal, as you're writing and discovering life and all these things, what are your definitions of when you know you've made it? Okay. I was talking with my husband today about an upcoming media opportunity, and I was amazed at my mind, right? I was like, okay, babe, what if this particular thing happens? What would happen if this really amazing, gigantic, explosive situation happened? I would just pass out. I would be so excited. That's one of the things that is my definition of success. Me working towards different TV opportunities, right, is on my definition. Me, the work that we've done with Essence Magazine, on my definition, right? Like I have a ton of ways that I have defined success for myself. How have you defined success? What does it mean to you? Even more importantly, how will you get there? How are you going to get there? What are you going to pour into this potential upcoming exciting future, right? This thrill, this amazingness that is coming to you. How in the world are you going to make this happen from where you are right now? This is what all we do here. Y'all know that, right? Like this is literally all we do here is go on a search and rescue for the how. And we lean into the why. And we pour and we labor over exactly what it is that I know I need to do in order to become that person. Okay? And so number one question that you need to ask yourself is, what is my definition of success? How will I know, girl, you made it? Sis, you did that. How will you know when that has happened? What feelings are you looking to experience? What thoughts about yourself are you hoping you're going to have? What tangible results will be there? Okay. Will it be this many products sold? Will it be I've hit this particular goal? Will it be pounds lost? Will it be, what will those things be that help you say, I've become successful? Some of our folks all across the internet, and they've been roasting people on Facebook, at least today, about how you never email your list, right? Until Black Friday. You don't email, you don't post, you don't do anything until Black Friday. And then you blitz everybody with 10 emails in one day, and all they're doing is unsubscribing. That's it. I didn't even send a nighttime email to my list today because they probably would have thought, you know what? What's Christina? What workshop is she selling? I ain't selling no workshop. All right. It's the idea, hey, it's the absolute idea that you can take the connotation of what you're believing, and some people jump on a bandwagon that's not even important to them. It's not even important to them. They go and they position themselves to do something for Black Friday or this option or that option or whatever it is. Some people start a certain kind of business or lean into coaching or whatever it is just because they saw somebody else do something else. Have you adapted somebody else's definition of success? Did you do that? Did you look to the girls on Instagram? Did you look to these other resources and determine within yourself, this is something that I want to do too? This is something I want to have too. So some of us are called to go back to the drawing board. Some of us are called to like go back and open the journal up again. My journal somehow starts in January, okay? To go back and say, okay, what were the things that were important to me in January? And do I still have a similar track record now? A similar track record. It doesn't have to be the same thing, but did I start loving and pouring into something? And then as the weeks went on, as the months went on, it began to fade away. Okay. Have you adopted somebody else's definition of success? And a lot of us, we've done exactly that. Okay. What I want to suggest today is that if you're taking on somebody else's definition, it might not work the way you think it's supposed to work. One of the things that I'm learning in my own coaching, like me being coached, is you take the advice, the structuring of the coach, of whoever, and then you get to put your own spin on it, your own sauce on it. You get to say, you know what, this is working for me. I don't feel like this is working for me. Let me go ahead and flip the script. After having done the work, after having troubleshooted, after having tested it again, I'm willing to work on it so that I know what success looks like for me. And so are you adopting somebody else's definition of success? Okay, that's number one. Number two, are you experiencing measurable results? Are you experiencing results that you can measure? Okay, I saw a post the other day, and we got to watch our posts, okay? Because a lot of us are doing this whole, if you're not coaching like I am, if you're not consulting like I am, if you're not doing business support or branding like I am, hey, everybody, if you're not doing it like I'm doing it, then it's wrong. Okay? And because it's different than what that person is doing, they begin to slander and talk bad about anybody that does something that's different. So, for example, I saw, and the person could be watching now, you put it on the internet, I didn't, okay? The person was talking about the difference between a life coach and a therapist, okay? Life coach and a therapist. And I thought it was so hilarious. I thought it was so funny. I'm bringing it up on a call with my client who's a therapist, right? Not just I just graduated. She's been a therapist for 18 years, has a very successful practice of other therapists under her, and they serve Black women, Black and brown women, millennial women with their stress levels and their mental health and all these amazing things, right? And so she and I are on the Zoom call laughing about somebody who's bad talking. Why would you hire a coach when you can hire a therapist? They're not even the same thing. There were certain breakthroughs that she and I experienced in her family, in her marriage, in her business, right? She said, I've been with my therapist for years. I've never had these light bulb moments. In fact, so she said, sometimes my therapist is agreeing with me because she's in the same situation with her man. And she and I sat in that together, almost finding it comical, right? That we could put together the therapy aspect, the coaching aspect, all of these different disciplines and models, all moving towards a measurable result. What if, baby, can you turn TV down just a little bit? Thank you, my hubby. Just the idea, right? Just the idea that you get to control the results that you come up with. The idea of owning personal responsibility, right? The idea of leaning into being comfortable with taking up space, feeling like I finally have the capacity to experience more and do more and breathe more. Like that right there is a whole nother conversation. And so she and I are going back and forth. And I'm like, what is it with this whole, down talking one versus the other? It's the idea that you can work towards your measurable results and your definition of success, and it might take more than just one particular resource. I have clients who have all the things, who have home organizers and cleaning services and a therapist, and they go to church, and they have me. They have all of the things, right? What does your measurable result look like as you move towards the life that you've been craving? As you become the person that does really dope things and creates a movement and grows her business, like what does that person look like? Who is she? And every single day, I really do some intentional leaning in, right? Like talking to my husband, baby, what's on your plate for today? Here's what's on my plate for today. These are the things I'm hoping to accomplish today. That's a whole, I don't technically have to say anything to anybody. I could just go do whatever I want to do. But part of my measurable results is my family feeling seen. Them feeling seen. Sometimes I see my kids and I'm going off about the dishes, like anybody else's mama, right? But that's part of my measurable results, that I can delegate that to them, and they're able to take care of it. If it's not done in the way that me and my husband might think it should be done, we can have that conversation too. What do your measurable results look like? It's still November. You got a good month and some change before 2024 comes in. What is that going to look like? Who are you supposed to become? I was sharing with, and I don't know if she's watching tonight or not, but we were just talking about like media strategy and some other things. And I was like, listen, I'm already working on mine for the new year. I'm sitting now and I have to create new goals. Like that feeling is a different type of feeling. The business has grown exponentially, right? I have the mastermind opening up in January for some very select group of mom entrepreneurs and leaders to show them how to pitch well and be their own publicist and grow their businesses and their movements, right? We're doing all of that stuff. And then in addition to that, we have like these maternal advocacy and educational advocacy opportunities opening up where I'm like, okay, God, I see some things happening. And I get to lean into that too. Very measurable results where I get to say coaching is the cherry on top of my sundae. But the foundational things that hold this dessert together, all of this is coming from some other places, right? I get to coach because it's amazing and it's fun and I love it, right? And I have the best clients. Like I just wouldn't trade those hours on Zoom with them, with you guys, like everything. That's part of my definition of success. And I get to walk that out with measurable results. If your results are not looking how you want them to look, what pivots, what conversations, what moves do you need to make different in order to do that? In order to do that, what decisions do you need to make? What sacrifices do you may need to choose? A lot of us, once it starts to get a little uncomfortable, I put this in one of our emails the other day, the idea that once you start to feel overwhelmed, hey, Lude, we take overwhelm as a sign that this is not supposed to happen. Am I lying? We take overwhelm, feeling like I don't have the capacity, feeling like I don't have enough time, feeling like I'm burned out, all of these things. We begin to take those symptoms and run with them, feeling like this means I'm not supposed to do this assignment. But I'm here today to provide balance or a different perspective. That overwhelm usually means you're moving in the right direction, but it can also mean that you're experiencing an abundance of answered prayers. If you're feeling overwhelmed, I want you to look around your life. I want you to look, if you're feeling overwhelmed, take a look around. We just ended Thanksgiving, okay? Thanksgiving was just yesterday. Ain't been that long since you had to count your blessings and name them one by one. Hasn't been that long since you had to do that. So if you take a second and look around, the home I currently live in, that me and my husband say, babe, we need more space, was once the house we prayed for. We just need this right here and this over here. Oh, we just really need space outside to do it. We got 2 backyards. And we still talking about what, babe? We want a whole farm, don't we? With the Bible saying the eyes of man are never satisfied, many times when we feel overwhelmed, we forget everything that's in my current sphere I have asked for. I asked for this. I asked for the bigger house. Bigger house means more stuff to clean. More stuff to clean means either I got to do it or I have to be willing to teach and invite my family into supporting me and in keeping things together. Right? All those things got to go together. If I'm looking for certain benchmarks in my business, right? It's all in a circle. We're going to talk about cycles in a second. It all goes in a circle. Because if I struggle with micromanaging and hovering over everybody, it has to be done perfectly. If I struggle with delegating and don't want to let go of the reins, if I struggle with communicating to my spouse, baby, I'm so tired. Can you just bring home wings tonight? Which I probably do way too often, right? If I struggle with saying, here's where my limitation is. If I struggle with that, of course your business is struggling. There are ladies constantly, and this is what our masterclass is coming up on December 7th, right? The masterclass is designed to talk us through finding our flow. Questions to ask ourselves as we lean into, I want to find my rhythm, Christina. I want to find my balance. What do I need to be looking for in order to slide into that place? What am I looking for? And we're going to go through 5 things that you need to be having an eye out for. Okay. I'm going to drop the link in the comments in 1 second. It's the simple idea that you get to control your pace. You get to control your pace. And for many of us, we have struggled again and again with the idea that I get to control the pace. Some of us are upset at the idea that we have to control the pace. Some of us are frustrated. Some of us are frustrated with the idea that I invited this on myself. Some of us are kicking ourselves because our husbands offer to help or support, and then we politely turn it down. Some of us get in our feelings. Good evening, ladies. Hey, Stacy. Hey, Lude. Hi, Natalie. Thank y'all for joining us tonight. We get frustrated. I turned this off. I said this was the pace I wanted. I invited it. So when I'm not seeing the measurable results that I said I wanted to have before the year is ending, why not? Why not? What's missing? What's off kilter? What's not working? And can I be honest enough with myself to say I had a part in that? Can I own up to that part? Can I say, you know what? I restricted myself in this way. I did this. I'm the one, right? Like we don't do that very often. We don't just sit with, this is something that I welcomed. Okay. So number 1, what's your definition of success? Are you adopting somebody else's or is it actually yours? Okay. This is not necessarily some of the ladies I've talked to. We've talked about pricing. We've talked about offers. We talked about a whole lot of things, right? It's the idea that you know when there's a gap, you know when you should do better, you know when you're inconsistent, you know certain things, okay? So we want to make sure that we're still accepting, what's the word, how I want to verbalize this. You can take advice from somebody, right? This is not the idea of like one thing versus the other. It is the idea of, I feel challenged about this. I'm okay that I feel challenged. You're challenging me right now. It's okay that I feel challenged about this. What's coming up for me when you tell me, I'm going to use this as an example, Christina, raise your hourly rate. Okay. When I say to some of our ladies, all right, let's pick the pace up in this way, it's because your definition of success said you have this particular goal. And if you use your current situation to move towards that definition is going to take you an awful lot longer. Right? So we get to kind of go through what are the measurable results. And if you're not seeing the results that you desire, why not? Am I struggling with showing up and taking up space? Am I struggling with discipline and consistency? Am I struggling with walking and talking the part that I know I need to? Am I okay with making decisions about things? Golly. Some of us just put it off longer and longer, procrastinate longer and longer. But am I willing to be the person that calculates her measurable results? And if it's just taking too long, like there's certain things you work towards, I just don't want it to take 5 years. I don't know, the Jennifer Hudson show. I'm gonna put that out there because I feel like that's my future. I don't want the Jennifer Hudson show to be a 5-year goal. I want that to be a 1-year goal, maybe 2, preferably 1. I don't want it to be indefinite. Oh, it's going to take this long for me to get to this place. When we started talking, I want to say 2020, 2021, about Essence Magazine, I had to start talking about it here on camera. Lude knows, Stacy knows. I had to start talking about it here on camera so you guys could say, look at Christina talking about she going to work with Essence Magazine. Because I need y'all to see the measurable result. Good evening, ladies. I need you guys to be able to see and feel the measurable results that when you say something out of your mouth, every time I do a call with one of my ladies, I've done one so far with at least half of the ladies from the conference, right? And when we lean into these conversations, I'm like, if you could just wave a magic wand and have whatever you want, what would that be? And most of them get a little wiggly. And they're like, what do you mean? I'm like, if you could just have whatever you want, what would your business be doing? What would your family be doing? How would you be feeling? And a lot of the ladies are like, oh my gosh, I would be rested. My business would be hitting this benchmark. I will be serving the world like this. I see myself on the stage. I see myself selling, working with different types of clients. I see myself doing this. I see myself doing that. And every single person has the capability to do it. The question is, what's in my way? What am I creating to take up space in that way? Okay. So number one, what's your definition of success? Is it yours? Or have you gone to Instagram and got somebody else's? It's one reason why when we're sitting there in this space on the calls, talking about it, I'm like, okay, what do you want? It is not my job to tell you what I see for you, right, Lude? That's not my job. My job is to help you get more of what you want. I had a really amazing sis who we did a discovery call, and she was like, Christina, I got to be honest. When I hear the term productivity coach, when I hear productivity, it gives me anxiety. She said, I don't want to do more stuff. Hey, Inga. She was like, when I hear productivity, it's giving homework. And she was like, I just can't understand. Like my mind, my body can't get with the idea I have to do more stuff. And so one of the things that I had to work through with her was productivity means you increasing the output of what you're asking for on the line of your identified goals. Christina does not identify your goals. Y'all hear me? Christina doesn't identify your goals. I don't get to tell you what's important. I don't get to tell you what's important to Inga or Natalie or Stacy or Lude or Leona. I don't get to tell you guys what's important. You know what your priorities are. You know what you want for your life. You know what fulfilled, excited, rested, purposeful, decisive. You know exactly what that feels like for you. Maybe you don't know how to get it yet. Maybe you're still figuring that part out. That's fine. But you do know when I say close your eyes and tell me about your ideal dream, phenomenal world a year from now. And give me all of it. Don't hold anything back. And then y'all say, wait, I know what that looks like. I know what that feels like. And y'all give me this long, I wish I had one of my pads with me, like one of my notebooks. Y'all be giving me pages. Oh, Christina, this is what my ideal world would look like. Y'all give me pages. So when we think about productivity, even I realized I had to take a step back with how I define it. Because some of you guys read productivity, you say, okay, Christina's trying to get me to do more stuff. No, I'm trying to get you to do your priorities and your goals in the most streamlined and structured way possible. What does that need to look like? Who do I need to be to make that happen quicker? Because I don't want to, some things are like a 2-year goal. Like I have 2-year goals, 3-year goals, but the majority of my magic, can this happen in this summer? Right? I got goals that I want to happen this summer. And I'm positioning myself now for those goals. Good evening. Positioning myself right now. What does that need to look like? Who do I need to be? How does that need to unfold? Or are you saying, and listen, I'm telling y'all, I've checked in with my ladies, right? I'm like, okay, how you coming on your plan for next year? And they're like, I haven't started. Knowing good and well, these organizations that y'all want to partner with, these nonprofits, these foundations, these businesses, they are already in 2025. They're in the year after, they're in the future. And here you are saying, I just want to get myself together. Oh yeah, just give me time to think about it. I told one sis, y'all, and y'all know I am in my old age, I'm just becoming so much more cut it off. She was like, I'll let you know when she reached out to me about the mastermind, Inga. Saw one of my posts, was like, I'm a mom leader. I see myself going into this place. Let me ask her about it. I said, okay, sure. And then after I shared a couple details, she said, listen, I'll let you know when I'm ready. And here's the thing about productivity, the Mamathon way. Productivity our way, thank you, sir. Productivity our way means you're addressing your priorities, right? You are doing more of what relates to your identified goals. It's not up to me to give you your goals. That's your problem, right? That's up to you. And so then she said, I'll let you know when I'm ready. Listen, I told her, I said, sis, everybody is moving at the pace that feels most aligned to them. It's okay if you're not there yet. It's okay if you're not there yet. It's okay if you're not there yet. Because it's not a financial thing. It's an internal readiness thing. It's an internal readiness. It's okay, I am ready to turn the heat up. Yes, I am ready to do that outreach. I have a client, and if she's watching, I don't think she's watching tonight. She is so dynamic. She, in between our calls, she goes and does all her work for her stuff. If she's having an emotional week, she meets with her therapist. If she's exhausted, she books the cleaning service. If we're working on her plan and her branding and her platform, she does all of that work. She comes to the call on Friday mornings. Christina, this is all the stuff I did. And I told her, she was like, I would not have gotten all of these successes without you. I told her all I did was teach, Lude. I taught, she ran with it. Grabbed what I taught her, grabbed what I showed her, It's like, listen, this is how you do it. You want to know how to do it? Boom, 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 boom. She grabbed that and she ran with it. I didn't have to sit next to her and hold her hand. Turning up the heat, like Inga said in the comments. Because it's okay if your pace is chill, right? It's okay. But rest assured, the opportunities will go to the people who are ready. They will go to the people who have tilled their soil so it's ready, okay? It will go to the people who have seed in the ground. It will go to the people who trust God with the sun and with the temperature changes and with the rain. Because it can rain all day, but if you have no seed in the ground, then it's a moot point. And so she hit me with, listen, I'll let you know when I'm ready. Baby, this opportunity is going to be here and gone. Try me and see. Try me and see. Take your sweet time if you want to. I was like, listen, I'm moving towards women who are ready to move now, who are ready to work now. It's okay if that's not you. Just be honest with yourself. Don't let any external circumstance tell you that it wasn't available to you, that it wasn't accessible. Don't let anybody tell you that it wasn't something that was a possibility, right? But that's what we tell ourselves. That's how we do it. We tell ourselves, oh, I wasn't able. Oh, this didn't happen. Oh, this didn't happen. I've had ladies say all kinds of things. I'll use a conference as an example, Lou, where they say, oh, I can't come. I'm like, well, did you talk to your husband about, you watch him watching the kids and this and this? Did you call your mama? They don't do any of that stuff. None of it. They don't go talk to their husband about the idea. They don't say, listen, here's what needs to happen in order for me to make this work. They don't do any of those things. They leave him out of all of it. They answer for him. My husband will say no. Did you ask him? No, I didn't. We can't afford it. Did you talk to your husband about your desire? No. We just don't do it. And I'm saying this because I have literally supported, coached, worked with hundreds of mothers on all the continents. I'm talking about Australia, the motherland, the UK, all of them. And we all do the same thing. And here's why we do it, okay? And I'm getting ready to go into this, and then we're going to wrap up our chat for the night. If you are watching December 7th, we are having the Finding Your Flow Masterclass. I have put the link in the comments. If you see it, that's where you can register. Complimentary class just to give you guys some extra value and to share what's coming up next for the Momathon community, okay? All right. The reason that we do what we do, the reason that we get excited, get revved up, do some things, pull back, all of this is because of what we call, let me show you the book first. The book is The 12-Week Year by Brian P. Moran. Very familiar goal-reaching book. A lot of it is really good, but this is the part that I lean into because I see it all the time with my clients. Okay, thank you so much. I see it all the time with my clients, okay? I see it all the time with the dynamic women, the phenomenal mothers that I am honored to serve, right? For you guys to give me an X-ray vision into your life, into your motherhood, what's working, what's not working, into your marriage, how y'all ain't doing this and y'all ain't doing that, and you all do this over here, and this is what's not working. For y'all to let me into that picture is an honor for me. I get to see you guys winning on social media and say, that's my client. One of my clients, she came to me at a standstill. She was totally stuck. And she's an influencer. She was at 30,000 followers, right? Which is so many. But for her, she was like, I just want to pull back. I don't want to do anything. She was in total stuck mode. We coached for 3 solid months. She got back to work. She said, okay, I think I'm complete. Like, I feel like I got what I needed. I said, okay, bet. And when I go to look at her thing was at like 70,000 people. This is in the last couple of months. I'm talking about leaps and bounds. She went from 30K to 70,000 people following her. But in a time when she was ready to close everything down and quit. Okay. I have another client who's popping up in all the podcasts, and she's now turning down opportunities because she did what I went and told her to do, and now she has too many. Okay. But here's what keeps us from operating in that overflow. Here's what keeps us from operating in that overflow. And I've talked about this in the past, but maybe you missed it. So you're going to get a part 2 today. Okay. So if you guys can lean in here, y'all see it? This is the book, The 12-Week Year. And there's a section on page 72 called The Emotional Cycle of Change. Emotional cycle of change. If I'm teaching anything, it's probably like this one section where he talks about the 5 stages that people move through emotionally when they're trying to change their behavior. I'm about to explain your overwhelm right now. You ready? The 5 stages people move through emotionally when they're working on changing their behavior. So we all start out with uninformed optimism. We see this at the conference. When worship is high, the turn up is high, you have so many amazing resources, and you're in a room full of 100 other brilliant women who look like you and believe like you, and you're like, yes, I'm about to go home and kill the game. So you walk out of the hotel on cloud 9, driving home, flying home, right, Lude? Going back to life as you know it, a changed woman. You are uninformed and super optimistic. And you forget that you were there learning, growing, changing, shifting, but everybody else in your life missed the memo. Everybody else in your life missed the memo. So you start out up here on cloud 9. Once you begin to realize that it's more challenging than you thought it was, you begin to slide down into stage 2, informed pessimism. This is harder than I thought it was going to be. I went home and told my husband all of the amazing things I learned and all the incredible things, and he wasn't as excited as I wanted for him to be. I'm going to talk to my children about all the things we're not going to do anymore. They're not seeming to understand that I'm retiring from cooking dinner. They don't seem to understand I'm no longer making snacks. Okay? They're not getting it. All right? So you begin to feel some kind of way about all of the things that have needed to happen for you to be this person. Hi, Phoenicia. Hi, Tracy. So you slide down here into what I call, what the book calls the Valley of Despair. Okay, the Valley of Despair. For some of us, you're still here. And if that's the case, it's okay. But I want you guys to be mindful of it and be able to see it. And in the mastermind this year, we're really going to go a lot further into what this looks like to operate from a high value place or a lower value place, to be able to operate with momentum. To operate with momentum, okay? Instead of just sitting in it and spiraling out of control. I have noticed in my clients, maybe not everybody else, it takes about 8 weeks to get to the Valley of Despair, to phase 3. Where you say, Christina, this is more challenging than I realized. And they usually have the thought of, I should just go back to the way things were. That was easier. It was more convenient. I was good with that level. That's usually where we do that. For a lot of women, when we begin to feel overwhelmed, frustrated, exhausted, I'm just doing too much, we tend to lean into that other feeling, that other way. You know what? Things were easier when I had my 9 to 5. Oh, Inga, you just said it. Go back to what I know, get a job. It's easier for me to put the kids back in school if you're a homeschooler, right? It's easier for me to do insert this other thing. It's just easier this way. It's easier for me to go back to being single. Some of y'all, I had one of my clients, when we got to her call, I said, what about your relationship? Talk to me about your husband. And she said, oh, I'm looking to finalize my divorce. I was like, you didn't say that was the situation, but that's what she said. She was sold too. I said, let's just put a pause on this for just a little bit so we can talk about that some more. At the time, she wasn't really ready to hear, girl, there's another way. It wasn't time for that yet. We found her other way. Things are killing it right now. Glory to God. But the idea is like, wait a second, am I in phase 3? Am I in the valley of despair? Am I feeling like it's just easier for me to go back to the way things were? Or am I okay with leaning into that other thing, okay? And so then phase 4 is informed optimism, where you finally start to get yourself together. You're like, it is possible. And then at the top, you have success and fulfillment, where you actually accomplish what you said you were going to accomplish. Okay? The challenge for all of us is to say, I'm going to stick it out. I'm going to commit. I'm going to lean in. I will get the resources I need. I'm going to do all the things I need to do in order to make sure I make it to phase 5, success and fulfillment. And what happens for a lot of us is we just quit too soon. We quit too soon. Success is almost guaranteed if you lean into the fastest way to do it. And if you rinse and repeat and learn to troubleshoot. I can't tell y'all how many years of conference planning, conference work. I was sharing with one of our speakers. She was like, how did you do this and this? I said, oh, baby, those tears that you cried about your event and your situation, I cried those tears back in 2017. And since that time, I busted my behind to make sure I didn't have to walk the same situation again and again. And every year it's gotten better. Every year it's gotten stronger. Every year the community has grown. But listen, that doesn't mean there weren't days where I was in phase 3. Despair. And my husband had to say, no, you are going to do this again. No, I'm not. Year 2, no, I'm not. And I had to continue to learn how to troubleshoot and have informed optimism. This is what it takes to make it work. Oh, this is what it takes to get my pitch accepted. This is what it takes to get a response on the email. This is what it takes to grow my business and do more advocacy work. This is what it takes. I didn't realize. This is what it takes. But for many of us, the idea of doing what I call some of the heavier lifting, we always go to the thing that feels lighter first. This feels easier, as opposed to I'm okay with sitting with the thing that can feel challenging. I'm okay with that. I'm okay with sitting with, okay, this is uncomfortable. The first time I submitted to Essence, I could have vomited. I could have thrown up. It was like I sent that email with my finger like this, y'all. Like trying to force myself to send that email. The first one, and then I got audacious and just did it again and again and again and again and again. And I said, listen, every time they talk about parenting, I want Essence to call me. I want to have them like, boom, right here. How in the world did you pull that off? How in the world did you make that happen? Being okay with being the person that does some heavy lifting. I'm okay with that. My clients, okay with that. If they're not the woman yet, they're committed to becoming the women that step up and say, hi, I'm the resource that you've been looking for. That's where we sit with that. And there may be some of us who we've been used to being behind the scenes, or we've been used to, seeing other people take the step forward, all those things. It's just time. It's time. It's the season. It's a change. The new year's coming. You get to make the commitment, the refreshing commitment to be the person that you said you were going to be, to look for those calculatable, measurable results. The ways that things are coming together in such a way you're like, wait, I know that this thing is working. One of my clients, she said, I finally saw my own brain in action. I said, girl, what happened? She said, I was having the moment of I should just go back to the way things were. And I caught myself. And I realized Christina told me I was going to experience this. And now I see it. So she didn't go down the pipeline of let me just undo all these things, right? She started like posting consistently and doing her work. She went from 700 followers to 4,000 in like 2 months because we've been working on her strategy. Who do you need to be? What do you need to talk about? What do you need to... It's the idea that everything around you will grow exponentially when you commit. When you commit. When you're okay with doing that and being that person, when you commit, everything changes. Okay? So, number one, what's your definition of success? Is it yours or are you borrowing somebody else's? Okay? Mine has changed over the years. I think at one point in time, I just wanted to help. I still do want to help moms, feel seen, heard, valued, appreciated, loved on. And now I help moms to feel seen, heard, valued, and appreciated by helping them to turn their ideas into movements. Okay, their ideas into something that's sustainable, their ideas into an actual process, as opposed to them feeling like I don't have the capacity to grow in this way. Okay. And so when we talk through all of these things, we work on it, we start with our foundation, and then we get to build on top of it little by little, not to overwhelm you, but instead to make changes in an incrementable fashion. Increments. There we go. Making changes in increments. So that you're not feeling like, okay, now I need to change 56 things all at one time. Instead, you get to change little by little, 10% better. Okay, next week, let's do 20% better than where we started. Can you just do this right here? Can you do this right here for this many days of the week? 3 days out of the week. I just need you to lean into this right here in order for you to accomplish the goal of X, Y, and Z. In order for you to become that person, in order for you to show up for yourself, for your family, for your business, for your mission, all of y'all are a big deal. I don't have a single person, a single woman in this community who is not a big deal. God just doesn't bring me women who aren't world changers. It's just what it is. So then the question is, are we willing to do some more heavy lifting in a sustainable way? Are we willing to get out of our own way, to lay aside the procrastination, the analysis paralysis, the perfectionism, the people pleasing, the lack of discipline, the refusal to make a decision, all of that? Are we willing to drop that off to the side in order to become the person that we're supposed to be? Okay? And so that's it for tonight. 2 announcements. Number 1, December 7th is the Finding Your Flow Masterclass, a complimentary masterclass, 5 questions you need to be asking yourself in order to find your groove, your work-life balance, your streamlined and organized existence. In order to do that, there are 5 questions you need to be asking yourself. And then on that live or on that class, we're also going to be sharing what's coming up for the Mamathon community, okay? As we go into the new year, the mastermind is coming, okay? The mastermind is coming. I have been connecting with the ladies in our conference community first, right? I've been talking to them first, but after that, it's going to be open to everybody, okay? So what I am doing is inviting, if you happen to be listening to and watching this live and you're interested in being a part, feel free to shoot me a DM. But I'm excited to see what comes in January. I'm excited to teach and download from my brain to you guys' brains and your movements, so that we can really do more in those 5 months together, the first half of the year, do more together during that time than maybe you did all of this year because you've been all over the place. Where you've been scatterbrained, you've been trying to do too many ideas, you're growing 16 different businesses because somebody told you about multiple streams of income, all this kind of stuff, right? Like we're doing all of these things. We're micromanaging our families and trying to run up behind the kids and take care of our husbands and manage our households. And we're doing all of these activities, all of these ideas, but none of them really well because our brains are just are in overdrive. Okay. And so what we want to do is undo the overdrive, turn off the overwhelm, opt out of burnout, okay, and really lean into a better flow. Okay, so December 7th is the masterclass, and the mastermind starts in January. I don't have the schedule in front of me, but it starts in January and it goes through Mother's Day 2024. Okay, so if you've been wanting to work with a coach who cares, if you've been wanting to work with someone who you've seen the hard evidence, right? Not, they claim to be this, and this, but a Googleable, calculatable, profitable mission, right? Where you want to work with somebody who cares and values your family, your situation, your needs as much as you value them, okay? To help you to become the woman that you want to become in a sustainable fashion. Okay. No more overwhelm, no more burnout, no more feeling like you got to do all the things. We can leave all of that to the side and begin to learn a new way. Okay. So if that's you, feel free to reach out to me in Messenger. At the moment, the class is coming up, and then the mastermind will be officially open in January through Mother's Day 2024. Okay. I'm excited to see what God does. I'm excited to see about the women's tenacity as they show up to create magic going into the new year. Okay. So the link for the masterclass is somewhere in the comments. Go click it, register so you can join us. And then we will see you guys officially on December 7th. Okay. Love you all so much. And we will see you guys in my DMs and then also on the class. Okay. Good night, everybody.